Hey, movie lovers, this is Kyle, host and producer of the Movie Wars podcast. We're not just a movie review podcast. There's plenty of those. On Movie Wars, a panel of stand-up comedians blends humor with deep film analysis using their unique war card system to grade movies across key categories. Each episode delivers thoughtful insights and spirited debate, offering a fresh comedic take on film analysis. New episodes drop every Thursday on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. Deeply researched, gut-wrenchingly funny, you'll love Movie Wars.
I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Bo Maddox.
These motherfuckers, I swear to God. Okay, for real. I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And this is Collateral Cinema. Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We are podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it dabs, blunts, bongs, or joints, smoke it if you've got it. And this is episode 2 of season 8 and our second episode of our spooky season content. How's the spooky season treating you guys so far?
Oh, it's been good, like always, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, well, technically, it's September 29th is the time of recording this. Has it really started yet?
Yes, it has. I'm pretty much now calling this the beginning of the spooky season. You know, I mean, it's only a matter of days, to be honest. So, I mean, we're splitting hairs here.
And true, and I mean, the Halloween decorations are already out. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, so are the Christmas decorations.
At the same time,
Right. But yeah, like we said, this is episode 2 of our spooky spectacular during the entire month of October, which leads up to our Halloween episodes featuring Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and on our director's cut Halloween content, we're going to do Terrifier 2, because by this point we would have already talked about Terrifier, but I mean, we're recording this episode before that, so yeah, it's a little wonky, but what are you gonna do, right? I mean, we work around our guests' scheduling, so yeah,
got to
exactly. And the movie that we are talking about was chosen by Robert, and it is a perennial horror classic. I mean, this is like, it's pretty much essential horror viewing. Like you have to, if you want the full history of the slasher genre and of a bunch of other different types of genre, and even just kind of, the sensationalism of exploitation filmmaking, then you can't go much further than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? Which is the movie that we are talking about. Now, Robert, like we said, you chose this movie for the spooky spectacular and everything. What is your experience with this movie, and what does it mean to you personally?
I think I remember watching it like probably more than 10 years back. I remember seeing it like one time when I was a kid, but then like rewatching it again like 10 years later. It's like, oh, this is pretty badass.
Yeah, it really is.
Because, the remake actually stuck with us for a while, because that came out in 2003. So, I was still in school I was still in like, junior high at the time, really.
Yeah, I mean, the remake is kind of its own entity, more or less, and it's popular in its own right as well. But this original movie back from the 70s, directed by Tobe Hooper and co-written by, I think the guy's name was Ken Hinkley or something like that. This is a 100% independent Texas-born movie. Like Tobe Hooper, he was coming up in the Austin scene back in the day, and he started off as more of like a documentary filmmaker and whatnot. And he was just kind of going from project to project, and the premise for this movie was just kind of knocking around in his head for a little while. And it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting how he kind of came upon the premise. It was actually kind of based on an incident where he was standing in line at a hardware store. And this is where he got the actual premise for the chainsaw. He saw all the power tools in the chainsaw, and then he thought, man, I could get through this crowd really quickly if I had a chainsaw and just mowed them all down. Pretty much. So that was pretty much the whole impetus for the chainsaw part and everything. But
and then, of course, elements of it were inspired by Ed Gein, too, right?
Yes, and we will definitely get into that. But I mean, there's a lot of inspirations for the story of this movie and for the characters in this movie. Like, the story, of course, was born of more or less of the political and cultural strife of the time. I mean, he was. This was the time of like the Nixon administration. This was the time of Watergate. This was the time of the oil crisis happened in the early to mid 70s and everything. Like I think not even like a year before this movie came out, and Tobe Hooper basically just took inspiration from everything that was going on around him, and as was de rigueur for a lot of filmmakers of his time, and he just made this really, really nasty, angry, and violent movie. I mean, and you really, really get that feeling pretty much from the get-go. I mean, from that iconic text crawl all the way up to the chainsaw chase scene and everything with Sally and Leatherface. I mean, there's just this feeling of just dread and just ugliness throughout the entire movie, right?
I mean, this was banned in a few countries, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was banned in a few countries because its reputation just started to kind of precede it, which is very ironic given that Tobe Hooper was going out of his way to try to make this movie like G-rated.
That's what I heard, yeah, was that because, like, if you look at the actual kill scenes, they're not that graphic. Most of it is implied more than anything, and it's really not that violent. It's just very disturbing all the way throughout. And I think the reason it feels that way is because there really isn't any sort of supernatural element or any part of this plot that really breaks the limits of reality. This definitely feels like something that could happen, and especially with it being framed as a real story in that opening text crawl. I feel like that's kind of why it hits home that way.
Well, there's a reason why the text crawl is the way that it is. It's pretty much sets the whole premise that this was supposedly a full-on true story, that the events of this movie actually happened in Texas, and that there was an incident where multiple people were massacred by a family.
Right.
But of course, that never happened.
They frame it that way. But there was a
reason. Yeah, they frame it that way, but there's a reason why Hooper chose to do that. And it was basically a political statement because they were just coming out of Watergate and everything, where the government just spent a good couple of years lying to the general public, just lying to everybody, like with Nixon and everything.
I am not a crook.
Exactly. And yeah, basically the whole premise of why they lied and said that it was a true story was basically referencing the lies of the government to the citizens of the United States at that time. It was a direct reference to government corruption and the lies that prop it up.
I wasn't aware of that. I just kind of thought they were kind of doing it for the cinematic value of it, like just the kind of teasing that at the audience. Like, this is a real story,
That's what makes it so effective, though, right, Robert? I mean, what were your thoughts on when you first saw that text crawl? And just the intro in general.
Pretty much looks fucking real to me.
It does, right? I mean, it makes it feel like it has gravity, right?
Yeah. Makes it feel like it's a true story.
Exactly.
And that's helped by, like, the character performances, even in the beginning scene, They feel like real people. I mean, and I've even seen reviews go out of their way to explain that the characters aren't particularly well written or developed. And actually, I think that's why it works, because they just feel like real people. They don't feel like characters that scripts were written for.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a voyeuristic quality to how we are presented the story of these individuals,
like a documentary of the accounts of what happened.
Yeah, yeah, and that goes back to Hooper's experience as a documentarian. So I mean, he knew how to really kind of get that gritty, realistic quality to his shots, but also still work with the cinematographer to make really cinematic shots, which we'll talk about here in a little while. But I mean, it's really. The intro of this movie is really interesting in its own right, because after that crawl, which is done wonderfully by John Larroquette, which apparently he did for marijuana. He did that for weed. He was straight paid in some straight up dankage to do that.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And it's like one of the more effective parts of that crawl is that it's read to you, It's kind of like, with Star Wars, that opening crawl is made effective by the accompanying score and everything, just that da 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 and everything. Well, it's kind of similarly done here, but with a voiceover, and it just sets that mood perfectly. And it still tells you everything that you need to know about it, but still obfuscates as well, and it adds to the tension of the movie.
Yeah, 100%. And that permeates the entire film, like starting with their reactions to this shit that just happens. Mind you, this is exhibit A of why you do not pick up hitchhikers. Like,
absolutely.
I don't give a fuck. It's just like, just keep driving. Today you can call the cops. You can get on your cell phone and you can call and say, hey, I'm, if you think that somebody's in trouble.
Out.
Yeah, exactly.
This person's running all over the road, bleeding out. Shit, I don't know if it's a trap or what. Shit.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't know what the fuck is going on there.
Yeah. Try to lure you in where,
Exactly.
We don't know. Just keep fucking driving.
Just keep fucking driving. I mean, it was the same way in the remake, right? Where they pick up the girl and then she just like shoots herself in the head,
Yeah.
Almost
exactly.
identical scenario. They pick up someone who seems a little bit off, and it's like, okay, should we really have picked this person up? And then over time, it gets worse and worse, and then boom, and then
starts
it's like,
to get weird. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of like The Hitcher, right? If you ever seen that movie.
Of course, in this scenario, we have the character of Franklin also, who reacts a little bit differently to the rest. I mean, he's someone who's kind of an outcast himself. So really, he's kind of just fascinated by the behavior, about the behavior of a man who would take a knife into his own hand because, what does it take to do that?
12 pounds of pressure.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Franklin, though. Played by, I think the actor's name was Paul Partain or something like that. Let me see real quick. Yeah, Paul Partain. That's his name. He was pretty much in character as Franklin the entire fucking movie. The entire time they were filming this movie. So he annoyed the living shit out of his co-stars and everybody on set, and people just avoided him because of it. And he is kind of the catalyst for a lot of the really negative things that happen in this movie a little bit.
So when you say he was in character, was he rolling around too?
I think
all
he
the time?
was. Yeah, I think that he was he stuck to the wheelchair and he stayed in character as Franklin. You know, he full on method and everything.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, to the point that he alienated the rest of the cast.
Well, that works then to the benefit of the script because, you know, you can tell there's a little bit of a divide between them. You know, he feels like the guy that his sister just kind of brought along.
Yeah, that kind of worked out for that one scene when he was like making fun of everybody or just going off.
Yeah. It's like when Franklin is freaking out at their grandparents' house and everything, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, come on this trip, Franklin. It'll be a lot of fun, Franklin."
Yeah,
and then he starts just blowing raspberries and everything.
Yeah, you can tell he probably practiced that. It was very method too.
Very method. Yeah.
Shit.
No, you could tell. I mean, and he was in full on Franklin mode, dude. I probably would have smacked the guy after a while. You know, I won't lie.
Being a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean, in the end, he's the one that applies an extra layer of tension over everything because, I mean, just listen to all of the questions that he asks. You know, I mean, it's all. He's pretty much just completely fixated on the hitchhiker and what he did to himself. And if you even notice after that incident, he starts to become really fixated on that knife and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like he even starts kind of stabbing things and everything. He starts it's like that kind of brought a change in him that makes him kind of want to act out in a violent way in his own right. But of course, he's never able to.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, you know, and he also starts to freak out whenever, you know, that he can't find the knife. And he starts to flip out because, I mean, that was kind of his binky a little bit, I guess, you know, a security blanket, if you will.
Little fidgeter, just pick his nails with it.
Exactly. But yeah, the cast itself, it was pretty much all local Austin actors who would work in like local commercials. Also worked on stage, like Jim Siedow, who played the cook. Like he was actually actively working on a stage play at the time. And I mean, there were nights where he had to bail and go work on the stage. The stage production that he was working on, and then come back and do some more filming with the crew and everything.
Nice.
So, and I'm sure it was a good reprieve because, I mean, they were filming like 17, 18 hours a day, like 7 days a week.
In the Texas heat. Wearing
in
the same
Texas
outfits.
Wearing the same outfits with all the stage blood and everything on them.
Smelling like shit.
Like Gunnar Hansen said that he was literally having to run outside and like just puke.
Throw up.
Like just literally just puke all over the place because of just how putrid everything became. Especially during that dinner scene.
Yeah,
you know,
everything was cooking. The meat was cooking.
Yeah, because they had those really, really high
100 and something degree weather.
Yeah, and those really, really high level stage lights. You know,
it's the only way you can get those shots with those cameras.
Yeah, because apparently they had a really weak camera.
Yeah,
that wasn't really set up to work in dim and dark areas or without a whole lot of lighting.
Those spotlights were cooking everybody then. Shit.
It was, man. I couldn't imagine. But in a way, it kind of adds to the griminess of the movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, by the end of this movie, everyone you can see it's just so visibly sweaty and gross.
Yeah, and that's the lighting and then the heat inside the house, too.
I mean, Gunnar Hansen said that his BO was reeking at that time. Yeah, I mean, it's so there's body odor on top of all the other putrefaction going on in the goddamn house. And all of those... pretty much all of those props in the family home, in the Sawyer family home that were made of bones and everything, those were all real bones.
All real, yeah.
And there was a lot of actual decaying carcasses that they had to pick up locally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they had to pretty much load that house up with a bunch of animal parts that were just cooking in the heat. So, as you can imagine, that had to have become toxic, like, almost immediately.
Oof. Yeah. Breathing that shit in it.
Right?
Fuck. Hell no.
Yeah, I can only imagine, you know. like we live here, so we know how it gets. And in that summer heat. Well, I don't know when this was filmed, but
like sometime in August in the summer.
Yeah. So yeah, August is usually still a pretty warm month for us. Like even going halfway into September, it could still be getting up to like in the 90s to the hundreds, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I just watched the scene on my TV where they walk into the house and there's that nest of daddy long legs, and that is also such a Texas country thing.
That is such a. I remember that growing up. Whenever we'd go into like our shed or our tack room and everything, and there'd just be a big old clump of them. All you'd have to do is just go up there and just barely touch them, and then they'd just explode,
scatter
everywhere. that brought back some interesting memories. But you're right. That is totally a Texas thing.
It's like hair growing.
Yeah, they're almost like walking strands of hair.
All together, it looks like hair.
Yeah, it looks like a big old hairball. Yeah. I mean, that is totally some shit that if you haven't grown up in rural Texas, you wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah. This movie has that identity all throughout it, so it's something that we can relate to, and even the fact that it's an independent film, and the way that it was shot, mind you, I think it was done quite competently. I mean, even just looking at like the camera work,
and also the acting. This was actually really competently done by the cast. Siedow, also Marilyn Burns, of course, who played Sally Hardesty. I mean, she was a film student herself, and she was on the UT Austin Film Commission, the Student Film Commission, when she made this movie. So I mean, they were already like some experience speaking here. You know what I mean? They were already pretty well experienced, if still learning and everything, but. I mean, I think that for a movie of its time and for being an independent movie, the acting is really superlative here.
Yeah, it is pretty real.
Yeah. I mean, especially with Gunnar Hansen, like when you see the desperation that he exudes as Leatherface. I mean, this is something that's obviously he's not really used to. There's just all of a sudden, it's kind of like a Scooby-Doo scenario where a bunch of kids just show up out of nowhere in a van, and now he's having to dispatch them as they trespass on his property. And there's that moment where he's flipping out in the living room. He's like, "Is there any more coming? Like, what the hell is going on here?"
That was the brownies he was eating.
It was the stupid
the pop brownies he was eating.
No, but I mean, he's just like, what the fuck do I do here?
What do I do?
It's like it's like my brother's gonna kill me over this. So he almost looks like a scared, forlorn kid for a little bit. Like I mean, he's just like, oh, what do I do, man? These kids keep on showing up. It's like I don't know what to do.
There's too many of them. I'm used to one or two, but dude, there's too many of them.
There's too goddamn many of them.
Too many kids.
Too many kids, exactly. Too many kids. And also, one more note on the cast. Also, we had Terry McMinn, who played the other girl. I forget her name. But, I mean, yeah, she apparently was she was discovered by Hooper in a pictorial that she did for the Austin American Statesman. I guess that's a magazine or newspaper in the Austin that was active at that time in the Austin scene. And apparently she got a call back, and they told her to wear the short shorts, and she got the gig, and she was allowed to wear the short shorts throughout the entire movie, which apparently was the most comfortable costume out of everybody. Which, yeah, I'm sure that she was probably a little cooler in a halter top and shorts,
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably closest to the actual Texas summer attire than anything.
Yeah. That's what you need to wear.
Exactly.
Yeah, she must have been a bit more comfortable than the rest of them, just looking at her.
Yeah. But she's she's also part of like one of the coolest fucking dolly shots ever. Like we'll get into that a little bit, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the locations in this movie, which have become iconic in their own right. Like for one, you have the Sawyer house, which was, I believe that this was a house that was about 40 miles away from the actual gas station that they used in this.
In reality.
In reality, and but it's been moved since then.
Yeah.
It was moved to I think outside of Kingsville somewhere.
It's like a bed and breakfast place now.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's a restaurant.
Restaurant.
It's a straight up restaurant now.
Yeah.
Apparently, they do like brunch. They do reservations, and like you can straight up eat in the dining hall where the family dinner scene was shot.
Yeah, they
and everything.
moved that entire house. Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy that they could take and take something that was it was an early 1900s farmhouse. Like that house already had history to it. But yeah, it is pretty crazy that they can just take it up off its foundation and move an old house like that and put it on a new foundation and keep everything intact and whatnot. You know, that is really cool.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah, and the bed and breakfast though, that's the We Slaughter barbecue.
Oh, there you go.
That's what that is now. That is actually a bed and breakfast now where, yeah, you can go and spend the night there. You can go spend the night there. You can eat some barbecue if you're inclined to do that. I mean, apparently they have a bunch of kitty cats there that are pretty awesome. But, yeah, it's definitely a tourist destination.
Let's go eat some barbecue, Bo. You want to go eat some barbecue?
No, I don't think so. Especially after eating this movie. I don't know why you would want to eat barbecue after watching this fucking movie.
Because I'm hungry.
You fucking weirdos.
I'm hungry.
You fucking omni weirdos.
Yeah, I think the next time I watch this, I need to have some like sausage.
I was gonna say that. Let's get some like sausage.
Motherfucker, I showed you the Rob Agar video with all the fucking the slaughterhouse footage, and you're fucking talking about this shit.
It's kielbasa, okay?
You motherfuckers.
You guys want some head cheese?
Head cheese.
Oh God, that's one of those things that I would never have even eaten before I was vegan.
Yeah, that's
like just that shit just sounds repugnant. That's the type of food that makes a person go vegan or vegetarian. Just the thought of that.
The idea. Just the idea.
Gross. Fucking gross.
Yeah. So, Bo, what is your social commentary on this movie as a vegan?
We will get to that here pretty soon. We will get to that. But yeah, I mean, it would be pretty cool to go spend the night in the We Slaughter barbecue, though. That would be kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
Or even just to stop and visit, because yeah, I mean, it's pretty much intact of the way that you see it in the film.
Take some pictures, get out. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they even have the sign up and everything.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's still a destination, but unfortunately, the abandoned house that they went to that was supposed to be the Franklin house, that burned down in like the mid 70s.
Mid 70s, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that is no longer standing.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, like I said before, I mean, and if you understand the dimensions of the movie and everything, the original location of the Sawyer house and the barbecue, it was like almost 43 miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you understand what happens during that chase scene, that should not physically be possible. Like even with the house at its original location.
Yeah.
So yeah, they obviously had to kind of shrink the area a little bit in the movie. A little bit.
It's fictional. I mean, fuck it.
Yeah, what are you going to do, right?
That's pretty much like driving from here to San Antonio and then filming.
Right? Pretty much. But yeah, the special effects was very much limited by the budget here. That's another reason why this movie is kind of bloodless. Is because it really wasn't in the budget to make the really balls to the wall gory movie that they could have made here. So, and it was also Hooper's attempts to get like a G or a PG rating for this. You know, like he said that he was literally like going to the MPAA and he was literally asking them, it's like, okay, if we were going to depict a girl being hung up on a meat hook, how could we do this and still get a G rating?
Yeah.
which is insane to think about. Like, that's an insane question to ask. Like, how do we do this graphically violent thing but make it G-rated so the kiddos can watch, you know?
Do it all in separate shots and leave it up to the imagination. Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much what he did anyways.
Yep.
But it's like there's a point where the subject matter itself just cannot be implicit and still have a PG rating. There's just no way, you know?
Oh, no, it's this is definitely a movie that got its reputation mostly on vibes. So, yeah. But yeah, like we said, there was real animal bones that were used, and I think even some real human bones that was used in this fucking movie. And nice. Although the sculptures that and the furniture that was mostly latex, which that's what simulated the human skin and everything. So they didn't go that far, thankfully. And everything, but yeah, the production designer was literally going around and picking up like dead animal parts off the side of the road or from farmers and everything, and was literally just kind of dumping it on the floor in this in the Sawyer house.
Fuck man!
Once again, contributing to the putrid smell.
Yeah, decaying animals. And
yeah,
BO. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, all that nastiness.
Gunner's stinky ass.
Ugh, gross. and then there's the whole thing with Marilyn Burns having her finger cut.
Yeah.
You know, and the grandfather is sucking on it. That apparently Gunnar was so out of his mind, and the prop of for the little blood effect that they were going to use wasn't working properly. So he just went ahead and took the knife and just cut Marilyn Burns's finger, like literally just cut it.
Yeah, it was a real cut.
Yeah. So that was a real cut, and that's real blood that the grandfather is sucking on.
Sliced her fingers on camera.
Yeah, and the scene where Paul Partain as Franklin is actually dispatched by Leatherface. I mean, not only was that thing really going, Gunnar was getting it really fucking close to him, like literally like inches away from his face and everything in his body. Like he was literally told to just stay very still, or you might actually get injured and you might die. So, but this was the kind of movie where every single cast member pretty much had an injury at the end of it. Everybody got some kind of injury from this.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, that's the easiest low budget way to do it, right? It's like that's the lowest budget way to handle it. You know, we don't need
$100,000 budget.
Yeah, we don't need to do effects for injuries. Just give them real injuries.
Just give them all.
Man, that's how you get like a Michael Cimino Heaven's Gate scenario where they're blowing up goddamn horses and shit. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, about those themes. This is a movie that really has a lot of messages to it, you know? And like we said earlier, it kind of wears its influences as far as its commentary on its sleeve, you know, like for instance, like for instance, the aforementioned, allusions to Vietnam, which was kind of a common thing in the filmmaking of that era. You know, we started to have stuff like Platoon, started to have like Apocalypse Now and everything. We started to have shit like that, and a lot of the horror movies were starting to kind of reflect the violence that was being shown to the American people during that time. I mean, remember, Vietnam was really the first. It was really the first war that was really kind of televised to the American public, and the filmmakers of that time, they reacted to it, and this movie, a lot of the violence and a lot of just that ugliness, it's kind of just an allusion to just the overall feeling of the Vietnam era. But also, there's definitely an undercurrent of a critique of capitalism here, because I mean, let's face it, the Sawyer clan are a bunch of unemployed slaughterhouse workers who were put out of work because of the proliferation of the bolt gun. You know, instead of having some dude just swinging a hammer and killing these poor animals, they had the supposedly more humane and efficient bolt gun. I maintain it's not humane at all.
Is it?
I maintain
is
that.
Is it at least more humane though?
That's splitting hairs, dude.
They're still alive when you do the bolt in the head.
Splitting hairs, but we'll get to that here in a little bit.
I've seen videos of that too.
But yeah, I mean, if you noticed in the movie, whenever they bring out the grandfather, how they really like hype him up as this like legendary patriarch of the family who was like an excellent killer,
greatest killer that was ever known,
greatest killer that was ever known, and he's basically apparently killed like 60 heads of cattle with the hammer in like 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
shit.
Yeah, only held up because of the other people weren't doing their job quickly enough or something. But I mean, at the end of the day, he was the entire family worked at the slaughterhouse and they were let go, and they're pretty much they're victims of industrial capitalism. You know, I mean, an industry came into town, established a presence, brought jobs to the local area for one reason or another, and they eventually go under, or something happens where they automate a little more and they lay people off, and the local area suffers.
Welcome to Texas, right?
Yeah, essentially, welcome to rural Texas. That was rural Texas between the last 40 fucking years.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the family, son.
Exactly.
That was something actually I was thinking about while I was watching this. It kind of reminded me of Resident Evil 7. So,
a lot. I'm sure that one dinner sequence in Resident Evil 7 was pretty much a direct homage to this movie.
That's what I was thinking while I was watching this. I was like, man, I wonder if Resident Evil 7 was like an homage to this movie in a sense. Like it's
probably
very similar.
Probably this movie and Chainsaw 2, maybe.
I was going to say Devil's Rejects feels like it too. Right?
Yeah, Devil's Rejects is definitely a movie that took a lot from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Like, holy shit. Right?
Like a lot. And House of a Thousand Corpses even more so.
I got both of those at my house.
Oh, I love those movies. I fucking love those movies, dude.
You know what? There's that episode of Torchwood, the adult Doctor Who spinoff called Countryside, that honestly is kind of similar to this too.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Fuck yeah.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America. This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it.
But yeah, I mean, basically, because these former slaughterhouse workers are pretty much out of a job and they have no real means of making money. Like even their even the cook's business, the gas station and everything, like even that's struggling because, I mean, they don't have any oil or anything because there was an oil crisis going on at that time.
A whole shortage.
So, you know, so basically this is just the people that capitalism forgot. And in lieu of all of that, they pretty much kind of created their own kind of mini industry of human meat and everything.
They were forced to cannibalize it.
Yeah, they're forced to cannibalize, and they pretty much industrialize it.
There you go.
Texans,
You know?
that capitalism forgot.
The Texans that capitalism forgot. Exactly.
The working man.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The fucking working man. Damn it.
Y'all know how they get, you know, like y'all see. I mean, I feel like this is probably like the 5th episode where we said something to this effect, but you know, this is something I could almost see happening in Bandera County.
Oh, there's already been some ragged ass shit that's happened over on the dock and everything.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, that's not outside of the realms of possibility because this is also another town that, especially when the lake went away. I mean, the local economy kind of took a nosedive.
Yeah, there was that one incident in Warren's Dock where like several bodies were found in a house.
Yeah, that did happen.
With the it was, oh man, holy shit.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
We actually had a case where someone was dismembered, didn't we?
Yeah, that has happened.
A few of them.
A few of them. But yeah, I mean that just speaks to, I mean, these types of towns, like we said, you know, capitalism left them behind, and you know they get up to some gnarly shit.
The Democrats.
Damn Democrats. God damn it.
Goddamn hippies. Communists.
And also the whole family structure of the Sawyers is kind of interesting. I mean, I think Hooper was really kind of satirizing family dynamics, but especially family dynamics in like a sitcom setting, kind of. Because I mean, when you really think about it, the cook, the hitchhiker, and Leatherface, they all kind of fit current like archetypes of the family, right? I mean, Leatherface is kind of playing the wifey there. You know, Siedow's character, the cook, he's pretty much the breadwinner. You know, he goes out and he makes the money and brings it home, and the hitchhiker is pretty much just the rebellious teen. You know. So it just kind of takes those family dynamics and it just kind of pokes fun at it a little bit.
Leave It to Beaver family.
It's like a really, really fucked up, distorted Leave It to Beaver kind of.
And Leatherface actually respects the cook. You know, he seems to have this fear of him, like he's just like an abusive father or something.
And yet we never really get a full-on confirmation of what these people's family ties are, you know, because one of the other things that you notice is that there's no women in this clan, and there's no matriarchs in the Sawyer clan. We see a corpse of maybe the grandmother.
The grandmother, she's decaying up in the attic.
Yeah, she's decaying up there, psycho style and everything, But of course, the male patriarch is still, even though he's on his last leg, he's still ticking. You know, he's still alive and everything.
Insane.
Well, you just need to go watch Leatherface to get the origin story, right?
Oh God, I don't know. There's like 10 fucking origin stories in this franchise already.
Yeah, there's like the beginning. There's the remake, and then there's like the beginning of that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they already did a movie called The Origin, didn't they?
Yes, Origins. They did. Yeah. But that is weird, right? It's like, I mean, there's no mother here. There's no sisters or anything. There doesn't even seem to be any indication of any feminine presence in the household, period. It's I mean, except for Leatherface. Leatherface takes up the feminine archetype there.
Yeah, putting on makeup and everything.
Yeah. Taking the dead skin mask and putting makeup on and everything. Yeah. I mean, and And so, yeah, it's just kind of a send-up of traditional American family dynamics, and it also kind of undercuts the comedy of this movie. I mean, this movie is funny.
Yeah.
You know, and that scene especially is kind of a hilarious scene, sort of in its own right.
What do you think it is for Leatherface then? Because like, is it drag? Is he genderqueer?
I don't know if he. I think that he might have like the faintest concept of gender identity, maybe just the faintest idea of it. But I don't know. I don't think that he sees it as purely a gender thing. I think he just sees it as a performative thing.
Yeah, it's like when he puts on the mask, he's becoming that person, right? And like taking on their identity, right?
So I mean. If he takes a woman's face and puts it on, then he's going to be feminine. You know, he's going to make that up,
like terra firma,
kind of like terra firma, exactly.
Where he just like cuts off her tits and then wears them.
Oh, yeah, like Terrifier.
Terrifier, sorry.
Yeah, like Terrifier. Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Don't they delve a little more into that in the sequel?
Kind of, but the sequel is batshit insane, though. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw 2, that was directed by Tobe Hooper as well, and that movie is fucking insane.
Dennis Hopper on there.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper being the most Dennis Hopper he's ever been.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. See, I've only seen this one, I've seen the remake, and I've seen Leatherface.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Dennis Hopper one, part 2, we gotta watch that one just for Dennis Hopper.
Exactly.
Classic.
But another crazy thing about the lack of women in this movie is how it still kind of turns around and enacts a lot of violence against women in this movie. You know, I mean, the two women in this movie, they're given like the longest ordeals out of all of the characters that are dispatched. You know. Like, I mean, like for instance, the infamous meat hook scene, you know, like that's a very prolonged and very penetrative kind of death for her, a very slow death, very protracted and everything, while she's forced to watch Leatherface literally process her boyfriend that he just killed like a pig, you know. Killed like a head of cattle in a slaughterhouse.
Hit him over the head with a tenderizer.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Just completely mollywopped him and then gave the killing blow to him.
Boom. Yeah, and then we have Marilyn Burns as the final girl, who's just screaming and screaming and screaming. Which, I mean, honestly, she should, right? I mean, never stop screaming, right? You know, you're just like watching this, like it's torturous, honestly. Like that's honestly where it felt the scariest to me, was her sitting at the dinner table tied up and screaming and then slowly being forced over to the bucket, you know? Like that's where I felt the most suspense. That's where I felt the most terrified.
And what's most effective about that is that we're forced into Sally's point of view. We're forced into her perspective. I mean, we're right there at the head of the house, at the head of the table with her, you know, and then just seeing this incredibly insane family just doing this just so they can have some entertainment while they literally eat her friends, you know.
Yeah,
you know, which they mockingly fucking serve to her. You know, it's like they have her tied up and everything, but they still serve to her a big old plate of meat and potatoes.
Ugh. Like, and can you imagine like waking up to, you know, that brief moment when you wake up and you haven't quite recollected where you are, you know, and whether or not what you remember was a dream. And like, as you're waking up, as you're, you know, coming into consciousness and the reality sets in, like, oh, fuck, I'm here.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that terror just kind of washes right over her, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the other effective part of that, or is all of those close-up shots of her, you know, as she's just completely freaking out and losing her mind. We start getting up close to her face. We see the vessels in her eyes and everything.
The trauma setting.
It's like such a perfect example of how a person becomes traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of how trauma is actually, you know, experienced when it's heaped on you like that.
Put fear into somebody.
And credit where credit is due, it looks genuine. Like, Marilyn Burns is just very convincing.
Very, very convincing. Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, everybody was driving each other insane that entire fucking shoot. That was probably genuine. That was probably her just being like, get me the fuck away from this director and these actors and everything. Like, that was pretty, and get me out of this stinking hellhole. It's like, I mean, that's probably a lot of genuine fucking freaking out, you know? Especially at the end where she's literally like just breaking down and laughing. I kind of think that that's some of the frustration of that shoot coming out a little bit.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Like on the reels.
It's like when Shelley Duvall lost her mind on the set of The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Oh, man.
But also, I mean, you referenced Sally as being a final girl. She's actually kind of seen as being the final girl. Like pretty much
The original.
You know?
Before Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, this is before Jamie Lee Curtis, exactly. I mean, this is right after Black Christmas, which kind of flirted with the final girl archetype, but didn't go full on with it. But yeah, this is typically what academics and horror fans would consider to be the first proper final girl.
Set the stage for the final girl.
And also set the stage for the slasher tropes that we see going into the 80s, you know?
For the chase scene, right?
Yeah, like you know, the bad place, you know, like the fucking Sawyer house, you know, the hapless victims, you know, and how they're still stalked by an implacable man with a phallic penetrative weapon and everything. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what established those tropes going forward.
You may be a final girl, but she is the final girl. The definitive,
She's the final girl.
The original.
the definitive article, you might say.
Precisely.
The one and only.
But that brings us to another thing that I wanted to talk about, which is, of course, the one that's a little more germane to me personally, and that's the animal rights and vegan/vegetarian angle of this movie, which I think is actually almost not really subtle. I mean, for fuck's sake, we have a dude in a butcher's apron, literally like braining a dude like a pig, and we're even hearing pig squeals throughout the entire sequence.
Yeah, those fucking sound effects, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's just pretty much pig squealing and everything.
Insane.
But yeah, I mean, from that, and also just the that one view that we get of the stockyard with all of those cows. They're just all pinned up. They're all like hot. I mean, they're pretty much kind of, when you think of it, in the same situation that Sally's in when she's captured by the Sawyer clan. You know,
About to be made into delicious burgers.
You bastards!
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! How you can watch this movie and not be vegan or vegetarian afterwards? I don't know, dude. Tobe Hooper swore off meat after this.
Leatherface burger and Leatherface fries.
Oh my God! God damn it, man! God damn it! God damn it, guys! You're ruining my analysis. Damn it!
All right. Hold on a second. I'm going to order some McDonald's on DoorDash.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, these people are pretty much in a cattle car, kind of. You know, you can see the van is kind of symbolizing the cattle car, and they're being pretty much led to the slaughter and everything. And there's animal motifs throughout this entire movie, even going from the initial first scenes of the movie. You know, I mean, we see that dead armadillo First off, and then we see there's all kinds of dead animals all over the place, and even in the Franklin home, I mean, there's wallpaper with a bunch of animals that Sally refers to and everything. I mean, animals and animal motifs are all over this movie. And even the implements that are used to dispatch the Sally and her friends. I mean, they are typically the old school slaughter. Like I don't know how chainsaws were used. I mean, I think that was just used because it was just cool looking.
I was about to say,
but I mean, yeah, you got meat hooks, you got braining hammers. I mean, you've got meat grinders and everything. I mean, it just shows you just the pure, just raw putrefaction that goes into killing and processing a thing to eat it, you know? And it forces the viewer to kind of be put into the perspective of an animal that is at the mercy of a person whose livelihood is dependent upon killing them, you know? And that's what's going on here. Even with the whole frustration that Leatherface is having, you know, with all these people just randomly showing up. I mean, in the end, he still processes them because I mean, it's really the only thing he knows how to do, and it kind of goes into his overall way of life and everything, you know. So yeah, I mean, it really just kind of forces you into the victim status of those that are slaughtered by industrial means, and also, I mean, the cannibalism itself, it's only really subtly alluded to, like we're the ones who are actually kind of forced to put two and two together early on. You know, like when we think that Sally has made her escape, she got back to the gas station and barbecue restaurant, and the cook seems nice at first. Seems like he's going to help her, but then there's that lingering shot of all those meats cooking, and they're very indeterminate cuts of meat, right?
Yeah,
mostly sausage.
I've got that scene actually on the TV right now.
Oh yeah, that's fortuitous. Yeah. I mean, it just lingers on that. And then you start to kind of be like, wait, is this kind of like a Hansel and Gretel type of thing that's happening here?
Yeah, holy shit.
You know? Yeah, so yeah, I mean, the vegetarian angle is actually, I think, probably the least subtle theme in this movie. You know, but another thing that I wanted, before we go, that I wanted to touch on are the themes of cosmic horror that's kind of alluded to here. Now, I mean, there was I forget what YouTube video it was. Hold on a second.
Cosmic horror, huh?
Yeah, there is kind of a argument that Texas Chainsaw Massacre can be seen as a cosmic horror. Okay, yeah, it's by a YouTube channel called the Checkpoints Show, and he posited that this movie has a lot more in common with cosmic horror than previously thought. Like, especially with all the references to astrology and to Saturn being in retrograde.
Yeah.
And if you recall, Sally is actually said to be a Capricorn. So, and Capricorn is supposedly in astrology, which I mean, I don't personally believe in, but in astrology,
unless you're the Zodiac killer.
Yeah, you're right.
it's just zodiac racism. That's what astrology is.
Zodiac racism. What the fuck? What the fuck, basic, dude?
And it's basic white girl science.
Oh my god! Basic white girl science. Funny. So is this the ultimate white girl summer? Is that what you're saying here?
That's hilarious. The ultimate, the one and only.
It's funny because astrology hasn't changed since 1974 either.
No, it hasn't. Not at all. There's been no gains in that field at all. But yeah, I mean, apparently they made an argument that, you know, that even if this is kind of more of a human monsters type of movie, that it does kind of have this aura of cosmic malaise and everything. You know, just the fact that throughout the entire movie you just have that bad aura, you know, that you know, sometimes supposedly the stars can just align against you and you could just be completely fucked by the cosmos, like or something like that.
Cult of the Thorn, right? Yeah.
Kind of like the Cult of the Thorn a little bit, but it's more like Lovecraftian horror, you know, which had a lot. Which had some stories, which had like local villages and like various people just kind of being negatively influenced by an outside cosmic force to do really, really heinous shit and everything, you know? So, I mean, you could kind of make an argument that that might be kind of the undercurrent of the events in this movie, that it's really just basically just everything aligning against this group of people. And just sometimes the universe just spanks you, you know?
Yep.
So
it does,
and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Just take it, really.
But yeah, I think that we'll go ahead and get into final thoughts now. We've talked about this movie for quite a bit. Robert, since this was your movie, I'll go ahead and start with you. What are your final thoughts on Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, it's a great movie to watch every once in a while. Like, I guess throwing it on now, dude, it's probably been like a few years for me. But, yeah, if you want to get into a horror movie, yeah, I'd say put this on. I mean, everybody has to see it at least once, you know?
Yeah, this is just one of those life's blood of horror type of movies, right?
Yeah, the original. Oh, we're like... Forgot about the Next Generation one too.
Oh yeah, the one with Matthew McConaughey. Oh, that's actually one of my favorite sequels out of this franchise. Honestly,
Renee Zellweger too.
Yeah, and Zellweger.
But yeah, I mean, I used to see these films like at your local Blockbuster, like right on the shelves. They were right next to Friday the 13th, you know, the horror section was a huge thing when we were kids. Right?
Yeah, this was one of those quintessential rentals, you know?
Yeah.
Like you had to just grab it, and then that made for a good night. You know, maybe a little double feature with, you know, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween or something like that.
The Town, the Dreaded Sundown, right?
Exactly.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. Oh, no, that'd be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ash, what are your final thoughts on this movie?
Very visceral, very real, 100% a quintessential slasher, if not the quintessential slasher. I mean, this is really where it all starts in a lot of ways. So, and honestly, it holds up phenomenally well as something that's filled with terror. I mean, this kind of scares me in a way that a lot of slashers of this era don't today. You know, this remains terrifying, and it gets better with every watch because you notice more and more of the themes that they've put into the storytelling, and you can appreciate, you know, again, like the cinematography, the performances, just the little details, and just the griminess that permeates every inch of this film.
Yeah, basically cinema history here.
It really is. Shit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, as for me, my final thoughts on this movie. First of all, most vegan movie ever. I don't care what you motherfuckers say. Don't at me. Don't change my mind. It's like, no, this is the most vegan fucking movie ever, and y'all should be vegan after watching this. Robert.
I'm like horny and hungry.
Damn it. Motherfucker. God damn it.
Sorry.
Need to go beat my meat while eating some meat.
Gotta go tenderize my meat.
Oh, you motherfuckers.
Spank my meat.
The shit I go through in this podcast.
Slap the hand to
it. God damn it. But yeah, I mean, like we said, this is just such an essential movie that if you haven't watched it, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like if you feign to call yourself a horror fan in any way, I mean, this is such an important movie to the development of slasher movies, and also very influential as far as the actual directorial style and the cinematography. Like this has one of the greatest dolly shots ever. That shot right after Kirk is killed, and then you follow his girlfriend, and the house starts to get bigger, and it starts to dwarf her a little bit and everything as she gets closer. That is one of the coolest fucking shots ever, and there's so much interesting visual illusions in this movie. Like for instance, that clock that has a stake put through it, basically saying they're out of time and everything. And also there's just so many great instances of camera movement and just pans being used to full effect, to force perspective and everything. And then all the way to the point of view shots that we get in the family dinner scene from Sally's perspective and everything. And also just the all the different themes in this movie, the themes of vegetarianism and veganism, the themes of political strife and turmoil, and the themes of possible cosmic horror throughout and everything that we alluded to. It all comes together and makes for a movie that is so deeply artistic that you wouldn't think so, especially from a movie that was initially so reviled and so banned and everything, but it's still so bloodless even. And I mean, there's so many shots in this movie and so many directorial choices in this movie that I see manifesting in later horror movies and everything. I mean, this was very influential, like way more than people probably are willing to admit these days. I mean, a lot of people, they heap praise on Halloween for its influence, but this was the first one. This was before Halloween, And this movie, to me, is just such an important movie that it's almost timeless in a way.
Yeah, I think it withstands time.
And also, there's one thing that I wanted to say here is that I almost kind of have a little personal connection to this movie because my dad was one of the penultimate steel guitar players in Texas for many years, and he played for the Archie Blue and the Silver Cowboys, which is a very well-known kind of honky tonk, the Silver Dollar Bar in Bandera, Texas. And he has a song on the soundtrack here. It's called Daddy's Sick Again. Now, I don't think that my dad actually played on that recording, but it is kind of interesting because, I've personally met the guy. I mean, he was my dad's employer for many years, for close to like 14 or 15 years after my dad got out of the military. So that's kind of a little interesting little connection that I have to this movie, So, yeah, this movie is kind of interesting and important in my cinematic worldview and everything. So, yeah, if you're a horror fanatic and you don't have this movie yet, what are you doing? Pick it up or watch it on Tubi. It's free on Tubi.
So is part two. Yeah. So yeah, you owe it to yourself to watch this movie because it's such an important part of the history of horror cinema. Americana.
And it's pure Americana as well. Well, anyway, that is our review and analysis and discussion of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Ash, what's going on with Collateral Gaming at this moment?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Bo. Well, by the time this is out, we should already have out our 2-part season premiere on Doom 1993 and Doom 2016. And a couple game launch reviews as well. The Ace Attorney Investigations collection, as well as the brand new Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I say brand new because at the time of recording this, it's been out for only a few days, and it is a masterpiece. So is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, which I'm enjoying for the first time as a localized release. So yeah, check out those episodes, and also our spooky month. We are going to be covering the Silent Hill 2 remake. So part 1 will be a spoiler-free game launch review, and part 2 will be our full spoiler review. And then for our Halloween special, we are either doing the Callisto Protocol or Amnesia, one of the two. As of the time of recording, we haven't quite settled on one or the other, but we will.
Oh my God, Angela is so fat though. Angela's fat. She's a fat character, and that's gonna make Silent Hill lame and gay or something.
Oh shit!
That's according to Silent Hill fog posting and Silent Hill bread posting.
Oh,
yes. And we should have some kind of bonus round figured out for the Halloween season as well. So stay tuned for that.
I would like to have a hand in that. I was on the bonus content last year, so
yeah, I'll probably be relying on you to offer a suggestion. You know, maybe we can get into some retro horror games. I'm definitely down for it.
I might have something in mind. I might. But yeah, that's what's going on with Collateral Gaming. Robert, anything going on in the short film department?
oh no,
No?
retired.
You're retired?
Yeah,
Okay, we retired Robert, I guess.
retired.
Yeah, his
Retarded?
back is hurting.
Retarded.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just I gotta wait a second, then make another comeback like John Travolta.
What the fuck? Yeah, but with Collateral Cinema, by this point, we will have already debuted our season premiere with Stu from Stu World Order pulling in the second year in a row as on our season premiere. And we are talking about Damien Leone's Terrifier. I finally got to watch this movie. I mean, I don't know why. I just haven't gotten around to watching it. And man, this was cool, man. I can't wait to talk about it. It's an interesting kind of progression of the slasher genre. So we're excited about that. And also our Halloween special coming up is going to be, we're going to be joined by Kaylee from Once Over with Kaylee on YouTube. And we're going to be talking about Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. That's the second part of the Thorn trilogy, right, Robert?
Yeah, part 5, right?
Exactly.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be great.
Oh, and almost forgot. One more item on the Collateral Gaming list in October or possibly early November. Of course, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I'm actually flying out to meet Zachary in Georgia. So we're going to be playing the game at launch together and possibly recording something.
Excellent. Yeah, that's awesome. Hell yeah. But yeah, look for our next episode after this one, which, like we said, is going to be the Halloween episode. And for the director's cut Halloween bonus round edition or whatever we're going to do Terrifier 2. So yeah, we're going to talk about the sequel to Terrifier on the Halloween director's cut episode. What do you think, Robert?
Gotta watch it.
Gotta watch it, man. We got to. Like, seriously. But anyway, yeah, that was our second episode and everything. Yeah. And you can find us on Good Pods. You can find us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube. You can find us there. You can find us all and Collateral Gaming on all the social medias. But for Collateral Cinema, we are on Twitter, we're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we are also on Reddit and TikTok. So find us there. And also check us out on our TeePublic store. We are a TeePublic affiliate. We have some basic designs there for our listeners, but here as the season progresses, I believe we're going to try to get some more interesting designs up on our TeePublic store. And also, you can find us on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. And also, I believe that if you look in our social media, we also have our Podbean affiliate link. So if you're starting up a podcast and you want 1 month of free hosting, sign up there. But anyway, anything else to add, guys?
Nah.
All right.
You gotta go out and party and celebrate season 8 now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We need to celebrate the spooky season and celebrate the beginning of the season.
So we gotta go bar hopping.
Yeah.
In Texas. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's go bar hopping.
Bar hopping.
Yeah. No, we need to go bar hopping, 100%.
Let's do it again. I feel like it's been months.
No, yeah, it's been too long.
It's been a while.
Yeah. But with all of that said,
I'm Bo Maddox.
I'm Robert Ortegon. Holy shit. Oh, holy crap. Yeah, I guess we're Collateral Cinema or something. Yeah, laters, everybody.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye.
The nights are always cold and lonely. Wife won't hold me close and love me. I look around for love that's so free. And you know, they always seem to like me. It hurts to know the kind of life I'm living. It seems in life sometimes you can't win. A victim of sorrow, drink, and sin. How it hurts to hear her say that he's sick again.
Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.